Alright, guys, so today we will talk about computers. If we look around us, we are totally surrounded by computers. Uh, from the morning we wake up, we find smartphone by our side, and we use computers extensively. It almost seems like that we are totally dependent on computers nowadays. Life seems even impossible without our smartphone. Sometimes it feels like that. Uh, so we are going to in this lecture we are going to get an introduction to computers, things which we are so heavily dependent on. We will dive deep into the details of the humans who once used to hunt animals using stones, uh, created something which is so wonderful, so helpful, like the computers which we have today. So we'll discuss the evolution of computer as well in this lecture. Uh, have you ever asked yourself how do computers affect us in our daily lives? Have you asked this from yourself how do this computer or this smartphone which I'm using affect the social media which I'm using, or the different kind of generative AI assistants like ChatGPT, DeepSeeks, how they are affecting our lives? So we'll dive deep into all the details about these things here in this lecture. So in this chapter, we would try to understand how do computers pervade our everyday lives. How do uh, we become dependent, or how they become part of our lives. What is considered a computer and what is not? Why do computers use the binary system, the 0 and 1 system? Why do computers use that? We'll discuss that as well. And what are some characteristics of different type of computers? We'll discuss different type of computers because there are various type of computers. How are computers commonly used today? So we'll discuss these things here in this lecture. Now, just look at the way we live nowadays. If, from the time we wake up to the time we go to bed, we are totally dependent, or we take help from computers. When we wake up, we uh, the coffee maker just make our coffee automatically, which is a computer. We wake up by an alarm, which is a computer. Uh, then, if we are going to somewhere, we want to go somewhere, we don't uh, go by foot, which we used to around 200, maybe 300, 400 years back. Now we have self-driving cars. We don't even bother to drive the car. We have TV, smart assistants, which help us get different kind of information from around the globe. And we check our email at work. We check our voice messages. We can send, receive voice messages. We can chat with our friends in a video call, or messages or voice chats. We receive parcel through drones. Nowadays, it is also being done that we are receiving parcels through drones. We can buy gifts, or buy any kind of stuff from Amazon, which is sort of called everything store. And we reserve tickets uh, over the internet for any kind of thing. We can buy anything. We can do anything. Pick up our paycheck. We get cash from ATMs. We get groceries, and uh, we check out from point of sale. We use micro. There are so many things. From the time we wake up to the time we go to bed, we are totally surrounded by computers, and we are totally dependent on computers 24/7 hours. So this is the scenario in which we are in now. So it's really important to understand how computers works and how they evolved to become such this much useful for humans. So the reason why computers are so much used or they're so much pervasive is that they help us. They help us do our stuffs. They help make our life easier. Therefore, we use them so much. We are dependent on them so much. They perform any kind of repetitive tasks. They perform tasks that involves calculation, high calculation, which human cannot do, or manipulation of numbers, which is sort of impossible from not sort of not impossible but very difficult for humans to do. Uh, it can perform tasks that involve storage or large quantities of information. You can see there are petabyte of information is stored in data centers, which isn't possible without computers. So we are dependent on them because they are very very useful. Now, what actually is computer? So how we can define computer? What is computer? Computer is a device. It is a device that take data or input, that they take some kind of data or input in one form, uses it or processes it, and produce a different form of information, and it produces a different kind of information which is useful for us. It gives us a useful output given a kind of a different sort of input from humans. So that kind of thing is called computer. Now there have been various kind of computers throughout the history of humankind. Abacus, which was once used, is also is not a computer by definition because uh, so now you might be thinking that abacus could also be a computer, right? But abacus is not actually a computer by our definition because it doesn't really take input and processes it and give us the output. What actually it does is it just stores or holds the number of the person who is using it. It's the person who calculate using abacus. Therefore, it's not a computer. All right, but very interesting thing here is the Stonehenge, which is around 4,000 years, um, which is around 4,000 years old, is a computer by definition because it takes the movement of the planets, suns, and other heavenly bodies and provide information concerning eclipses and other astronomical events. Uh, it's situated for your information, it is situated in England. It was used to calculate the movement of planets, sun, and other heavenly bodies, so bodies which are in the sky uh, or in the universe, which are in the sky, and it was given some kind of input, and it used to people used to find out the movement of different planets using this. Therefore, it is considered as Stonehenge. I would recommend you to check out Google or YouTube about this. This is a very interesting thing because humans were able to calculate the movement of planet using these stones. It's very interesting. So go check it out, and you'd find it very interesting. I'm sure. All right. So the weight scale, which takes the weight of a person and give the output or show the person the number of kilograms or pounds which a person have. So that's a computer by of definition. A calculator is a computer again because it's taking in inputs and process it and gives output. Okay, the cell phones are again we consider them as computers because they do very complex things. Uh, it's the smartest nowadays. The smartphones, they do anything. You can talk to any person around the globe, anywhere in the world, just by opening your phone, your Wi-Fi connection, and you can chat with anyone anywhere in the world. So that's also a computer. All right, there are many kind of computers. Computers can be classified into three sets of characters, right? It could be electronic versus mechanical. It could be general purpose computer versus special purpose computers, and it could be digital versus analog computers. We discuss these in detail that how these are different. So, like electronic computers, what are electronic computers? So, electronic computers are basically are constructed or created or formed from transistors. You might have studied transistors in your physics class. Uh, they have very wonderful, property of allowing some certain electric current while not allowing all the electric currents. It is very interesting. You must check it out. In the, I think it's in secondary physics. So check it out. It's very interesting. I would recommend you to check it out about the concept of transistors, how they are used inside computers. It's very interesting. Uh, you'd get the building. You'd get the understanding of. You will get the understanding of how transistors make up the computers. Okay, and electric circuits. So basically, electronic computers are formed by transistors and electrical circuits, and it need electrical source to function. It need electricity in it. Either the source be battery or by using some sort of alternating current, gassy current, direct current. So then we have mechanical computers. Mechanical computers are constructed of a combination of gears, levers, springs, some kind of those things. It produces its own intrinsic energy. It do not need electricity to function. So these kind of computers are called mechanical computers. Uh, check out the astrolabe, which was used in the Muslim golden age. It was very famous computer which was used to calculate different dates or dates of Ramadan, for example, or so many other things. It was very a complex computer, a mechanical computer of that age. It was very wonderful. You can check out Astrolabe, uh, and you'd get the idea about how mechanical computers work. Next, we have general purpose computer and special purpose computers. So, general purpose computers are the computers or the laptops which we use today, which was not manufactured to do any one thing, like which is not manufactured to perform single task. It is constructed to do multiple tasks. Like your laptop could play the video. You could use this for coding. You could use it for um, playing video games. You could use it for browsing. So many things. You can do so many things. And special purpose computers, on the other hand, it is manufactured to perform a predetermined task or set of tasks. for example, there are so many special purpose scientific computers which are used to perform certain calculations uh, for in scientific calculations. So there are some kind of special purpose computers. Uh, there are lots of special purpose computers. You can check it out on Google. I would recommend you to check out the most advanced and the most sophisticated special purpose computer in the world are supercomputer. So check that out. Oh, then we have for digital computers are the computers that function in discretely varying quantities, and it produces or give result that are also discretely varying. So digital computer are, for example, your phones, smartphones, laptops, so many other things. They discretely function in a discrete way. If we look at the way computers work, it function in a discrete way. It function in a form of zeros and ones, which are discrete quantities, right? So it functions through these bits, changes in the bits of these zeros and ones, right? So that's what we call as digital computer. In the later section, we will discuss details about how the transistors make it possible to switch on and off, or to make it possible for electricity to pass through the circuit, which we call as 1, and to block the circuit, which we call as 0. How that is made possible, and how that's used in computers to build a so complex computer that by changing bits of data, changing different bits by manipulating different bits, we perform so many complex things. We'll discuss that in the later parts. Then we have analog computers. These computers, or these are the computers that function in continuously varying quantities, produces or give results that are also continuously varying. So analog or kind of computers that doesn't function continuously. Again, the example which I just gave you, mechanical computer used astrolabe, which I gave the example. I recommend you to you guys to check it out. It was very sophisticated kind of computer. That's also an example of analog computer as well. So check that out. So you may get the idea about how analog computer work. All right. So the general purpose electronic digital computers. This is the smartphones we have, the computers we have. They are called general purpose electronic digital computers. So general purpose digital computers are uh, like the laptops which I just gave examples. They can be used in many different fields of work, like you could use it for your office work, you could use it for coding, you could use it for game, I mean, you could use it for so many other things. And it requires electricity to function, it requires batteries, it requires current to recharge the batteries. And it is made up of binary circuits, which I just talked about. It is made up 0 and 1s, which we call as binary. And so it's made of binary circuitry. Each can be set to one of two possible conditions. It could be 0 or it could be 1. And it's controlled by humans. Humans give the input to the computer, and that's how we use it. Your computer won't be able to do things by itself unless you give some instruction to it. So general purpose computers are used by humans. It's always. Now, general computers are made up of four major components. We call it von Neumann architecture. The person, it's named after the person who designed the architecture. He was named von Neumann, who designed in a way that there's an input part, input unit, there's memory unit in the computer, there's processing unit, CPU, which we call a central processing unit, and there's output unit. Okay, these are the four basic parts uh, based on which this architecture of the general purpose computers is made. So the input in the input unit, humans give input to the computers through different devices, like we use mouse, we use keyboard, or we just talk to the microphone, or we use other touch screen, like these things to give input to the computer. And then we have memory. Memory is the place where your data is stored and then processed by the central processing unit. Memory, if you have ever used USB, that is the kind of memory. If you have used SSD cards, previous uh, previously that you used to had memory cards, small cards, but nowadays they are inbuilt into the mobile phones or laptops or SD cards. They are all kind of memory. And then we have central processing unit, which is the main part, which we called as the brain of the computer. So it processes all the data which is in the memory of a computer, or which is given by the input through different interfaces like mouse, keyboard, or so many other things. So the brain controls all computer operations. It processes information, computes the result, and show through the output units. The output unit is a part which displays to the human the processed data, uh, like printer, monitor, like when you click on something, or when you click on a link in your mobile phone, that's input. And then it goes over the internet, it search or where the video is placed, which we call this memory. From there it picks the video and shows you. The central processing unit processes these things, and then it shows you through the output or the display, the screen of your laptop, your mobile phone, whatever. So that's a simple architecture on which our general purpose computers work. So there are two main parts of digital computers. There's hardware part and there's software part. Okay, so software is sometimes called as this as some kind. So software is sometimes called as the soul of the computers. Computers is built using the transistors by the combination or the circuitry of different transistors. Okay, so they are combined in a way so that they could work. And then the software is the program which is inside that hardware. We put some kind of uh, software, which is basically a logic inside the hardware, so that the uh, software could change different bits and process different stuff so that it could give us the output which we want to get. So that's how it works. We'll discuss these things in later part as well. Okay, so software consists of instructions that control the hardware and cause the desired process to happen. And a disk is considered, however, a program on the disk is considered software. So a disk which we used to have disk. Nowadays we have SSD cards inside of our computers. So these are the hardware parts that solid SSD card which we can touch, that's hardware, and the program which is inside this hardware is called software, right? So the software basically make it possible for the hardware to work. It's like the soul in human body make it possible for human to do different tasks, and the software make it possible for hardware to work. I gave it just a naive analogy, but you get the point, okay? All right. So why do computers work in binary? A very very good question. So why do computers work in binary? Why we use zeros and one instead of any other numbers? There are lots of numbers. There is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 9. There are so many numbers. Why we use only 0 and 1? It's simply because using binary or two number system is cheap and reliable. It is easy, cheap, and reliable. Building computers using this system or this binary system would be too expensive. So, building computers using this binary system is very cheap. Otherwise, if we build using different numbers, we use three numbers, four numbers, then it would be expensive and it would be less reliable. So that's why we use the binary. Alright, so applications. Next thing is application. So you might have heard about applications. You must be using Facebook. That's a kind of application. You must be using YouTube application, TikTok application, Snapchat application. There are so many other examples. So applications, what are applications? What are the things? How they work, right? So applications are just programs or set of computer instructions designed to perform a particular task. They are designed to perform particular task. TikTok is designed to show you video content, and you can upload content on that. In a similar way, YouTube works the same way. It's also designed to show you the different kind of contents. Or there are lots of other applications like the word processor, MS Word, which we use in our daily lives. That is uh, built or that is programmed to make it easy for you to write different things in it in your computer and to save it. So for some popular examples here are Word, MS Word, which we use, Excel, which we also use. There are so many other applications which we use. So there are various productivity tools, there is a Notion, a website for taking notes, which could be a productivity tool. There are so many other tools which we use in our daily lives. Uh, so here are some types. Four types are included in this category. In the productivity tools category, we have four categories included here. Word processing, just processing the words which we use in our daily lives, like MS Word. Electronic spreadsheet, a spreadsheet we use in Excel. Database management system, DBMS system, which used to store different kind of data, like MS Access, like Oracle, like Postgre, like SQL, SQL Server, so many other things. Or presentation graphics, we use different kind of graphics presentation, like PPT, we use PowerPoint for graphic presentations, and so many other things. Alright, so why we use word processors? Why we use MS Word to write different things? Or why we use Notepad? Or why use so many other applications out there? Why we use all those things? Because they are They make our life easier. When we want to create any text document. We could use they could be used to create letters. They could be used to create reports. They could be used to create essays. They could be used to create articles. They could be used to create books. They could be used to create anything, whichever you want. So that's why we use word processors. And why we use electronic spreadsheet? Just to have an environment where we could put our data, save it, or use some formulas to calculate the output in a row and column form. Therefore, we use MS Excel. Pretty much MS Excel is used everywhere. If you are using Linux, then you would be using Libre, which is also a sort of MS Excel. So we use that for performing different actions. Then we have DBMS, Database Management System, which is used to manage databases. Database is sort of a computer program that's used to store data, and DBMS or Database Management System are computer programs that are used to organize small or large amount of information in meaningful way, in a way which could be meaningful for people, for a person, for the person who stores that data. For example, if you're in school, in your college, your university, they store your data uh, in a way that could be meaningful, that could be used for reference in the future. That's why your data is stored. So for that purpose, we use DBMS. Uh, it allows us to entry, update, retrieve informations in meaningful format. We can add information, modify information, delete information. We can do so many things. Our PPT, we use presentation or PPT to give presentations. So it's a tool that combines computer and display system to present multiple type of visual and audible information. So we use presentation graphics for that, like images, animation clips, charts, hyperlinks, or so many other things. And we have AI assistants, which like ChatGPT, like Amazon Alexa, or so many other things which are used to help us get the information which we need. And so computer control, these are the tools used to make the computer run efficiently, used to make the computer perform certain tasks. So the computer control programs, these are the tools which I just discussed, that they are used to make it possible so that your computer run efficiently, and it could be used to perform different kind of tasks. So there are three categories given here. One's programming languages, which are computer controlling tools. Programming languages are the tools which are used to control computers, operating system, and different kind of other utilities. Utilities are just you can say a kind of things which help perform different kind of tasks. Okay, so we'll discuss these things here. First, we have programming languages. So programming languages are just like human languages. When we want to talk to somebody, we use certain languages. Let's say I want to I'm talking to you, you're listening to me here, I'm talking in English. So this is a kind of language in which we are communicating. In order to communicate with the computer, which is the laptop or the smartphone, or some other things, we need programming language. The programmers or the person who is behind building these things need programming language. Not every end user need programming language. They just don't know. You might not understand Java, Python, JavaScript, but these are the things which computer programmers or programmers use to control the computers. In order to control computers, you need to understand, you need to have grip on different programming languages. So computer programming languages have its own vocabulary, and they have its own structure, they have its own syntax, Um, if you're experienced programmer, then you understand that there are different kind of syntax, different kind of structures, vocabularies in programming languages. Programmers are use these languages to construct programs. Different programs are constructed. We use different application. For example, you can use Python, JavaScript, Java to build some application. Let's say you want to build a website. You could use HTML, CSS, JavaScript to build a website. You would use Python or other languages to create a website. Okay, and some popular programming languages here: Python, JavaScript, Java, C++, and there are so many other things, Kotlin, and so many other languages, C Sharp or C. Okay, so then we have operating system. Operating system is a systems or basically a collection of programs. Uh, like there is some system inside your laptop, inside your uh, smartphone, which you have in your hand, or the laptop which you have. There is some kind of system inside this computer which controls or which operates how it works. Like when you click on something, let's say you click on WhatsApp, then WhatsApp open up. Okay, when you click on WhatsApp it open up. How that works, it's the operating system which help you show that chats all the things to you uh, using the application program, using the WhatsApp, or how the chats are being collected, how you send something on the internet, or let's say you send a video to your friend. How is that sent to your friend? That is again controlled by operating system. So computer system is you can say kind of system which do all the tasks, which is responsible for operating your computer, which is responsible for doing the tasks which you do on your computers, on your laptops. Okay, so it's a collection of programs that manage and control all operations and coordinate all hardware components of the computer. Some functions include controlling the mouse pointer. Let's say I um, I am just scrolling the cursor. That's controlled by the operating system. I'm sending data to the printer, to the screen, or to someone else. That's again controlled by operating system. I'm managing files, like I'm deleting something, I'm copying something, moving something from here to there. That's again controlled by operating system. I'm formatting my SSD card. I am removing all the things in my phone. That's again controlled by operating system. So there are various popular operating systems, including Windows, which is the uh, most used by people. Not mostly used, because Linux is mostly used. Okay, so Linux is the if you look at the computers, around 90% are Linux. Uh, Generally, people who don't understand how Linux works, they use Windows, which are simpler, which are non-technical and user-friendly. So therefore, some people for office work use Windows. So these are some famous or popular operating systems: Windows, Unix, Mac OS, VMS. It's not that famous. Linux is certainly very famous. Okay, so lastly we have utilities. So utilities help to keep the computer running properly. It is making adjustment in efficiency, faster operations, more efficient memory, hard disk use, better communication connection, making repair to manage disk files, identifying limited viruses. Let's say you have let's say there's various virus killing utilities in your computer. When you run these utilities, it kills a computer. Or there are various malware detection utilities in your computer which has a function, which are used, or which is the purpose, or which is whose task is to eliminate or detect viruses in your computer. So we use many kind of such utilities. Uh, we have this lots of these kind of utilities in our computers. Okay, so we have internet and web tools. Now, internet is in itself a very big thing. It would it would take around hours, 2 hours, 3 hours, maybe 3, 4, 5, 6 hours in itself to explain the only word internet, because it is such a big thing. But for now, we'll just introduce what is internet. So it is tools. These are the tools. Internet and web tools are tools used to make easy access of the internet possible. It's used to create a web presence. So again, I think I need to define it itself. So internet is basically a combination of different networks. You might ask, what is network? Network is basically when two computer devices or two computing devices are communicating with each other. You are sending some uh, chat or video to your friend. The mobile, your mobile phone and the mobile phone of your friend are communicating with each other. Okay, that becomes a network. When these networks multiplies and become a huge network, okay, a huge network, a web, a huge network, then we call that as internet. Internet is nothing but a interconnected networks. It is an interconnected network is called internet. So from the word itself, you can guess that it is internet, interconnected net. We can say that. Okay. And then we have tools which are listed in this category, our internet or web tools category. We have web browsers, the tools which we open up, search something, and we get the result, like Chrome, like Brave, like Firefox. Okay, so these are browsers which help you to browse or to search through different data and get or show you the data which you need or you have searched about. Search services like Google has a very popular search engine. When something, we go to Google search engine, we search into Google. We use different browser, but we search in Google. Okay, so that's an example of search services. Web page builders. There are various web page builders which again we use to build pages. Okay, we have web browsers, most commonly used tools to access the World Wide Web. World Wide Web is the web or the connection of different networks, which we call as www dot World Wide Web. So these programs or web browser programs allow web pages to be displayed on the computer screen. For example, let's say I search something on the computer, it show me different places or whatever I searched about. That's made possible using web browsers. Okay, so it includes the browsers like the web pages includes text, it includes graphic images, animation, stream values, sounds, virtual reality environment, and so many other things. Okay, and two most widely used browsers are Chrome and it is, I think it's a little bit outdated here. I don't know how I forget to add this here, but the widely used web browsers are Chrome and Firefox nowadays. All right, so we have search services like Google, which again I just mentioned about that Google is the most widely used search engine or search service. Web page builder are tools which are used to create web pages. Some word processors and presentation programming include web pages design capability. Okay, so there are lots of you know web page builders. Like nowadays we use you know VS Code. VS Code to use web pages. Okay, that is a web page builder. So that's the end of the lecture. Hope you got the idea about what are computers and what is not computers, why they are computers, why they are so pervasive, why we use them, and all that. See you in the next one. Till then, keep learning and keep improving yourself.